What's happening, hardscapers? Should you buy this little saw? Let's get into this. I bought this 9-inch Milwaukee battery powered M18 saw, and I know there's other ones. There's the DeWalt. Milwaukee also has a 14 or 16 inch as well. And my thought process behind this, I'm just going to explain it to you, why I bought it and its applications and whether or not it's something you need or it's a luxury. So we've done a couple of porcelain projects lately. And when I came to these porcelain projects, I was looking for the best way to actually go ahead and cut a porcelain slab to get the best cut. And I came across these giant bench saws, table saws, whatever you want to call them, and I just really didn't want something else in my arsenal that's going to take up a lot of space. So I looked for alternatives, and I also didn't want to use my 14-inch Hilti demo saw because I just thought it was a little bit too heavy to get that perfect cut, especially when I'm going for just straight cuts. So then I decided, you know what, I'm going to buy this 9-inch saw and I'm going to see how well it's going to cut for me for this first project. And I came up with this 4-foot level, clamping it down and using this 9-inch saw to be able to get a perfect straight cut, as opposed to using that table saw, and it worked out really well. This is what I found to be the best way to cut porcelain here so far, is having 2 clamps on a 4-foot level. This is a 4-foot piece, so 4-foot level, and clamping it on my cut right along the line, and then using that as a guide, and my saw here, my 9-inch battery powered Milwaukee with a porcelain blade on it, and just running it along here, giving it a first score, and then taking my time running up and down it to get that nice clean cut. And we've got our cuts here. Sometimes you can get chips, from what I've heard, with cutting the porcelain, and flakes along the cut. This has worked perfectly. I don't see any flaking, any chips, so this is working well. This is why I bought it, and I've found other applications since I've bought it. Is it something you absolutely need? No, definitely not. You don't need it. In fact, it would be the probably 3rd saw that I would buy, if anything, for a hardscape business. I'd buy my 14-inch demo saw first, 12-inch maybe. I would buy then an angle grinder, likely. And then I would buy this 9-inch saw, or even before this, I would buy the dustless IQ saw that I have, the table saw, to be able to do those perfect coping cuts and to be able to have a dustless saw also in my arsenal. Then finally I would buy this 9-inch saw. Not to say it's not useful, it's been extremely useful, especially if you're going to cut porcelain. I would say buy it. Especially if you want to cut it the way that I actually cut it there. It is something that gives you a lot of control, especially for these curved cuts, and getting that perfect cut. It was especially valuable in my arsenal to have. I couldn't have done it. I tried it with the 14-inch and with a certain blade, and it wasn't working so well. I don't like that. Really, I couldn't have done it without this 9-inch. So porcelain, yes, I absolutely advocate for this for porcelain. If you're not going to invest in a blade for an IQ saw, or for a table saw, or a bench saw, or whatever you want to call it, if you want something that's going to be compact and you're comfortable with cutting freehand, porcelain, yes, get it. And then that comes to other applications for this. Lighting. We're always having to do these wire cuts and returns and all that with our lighting, and to bust out the heavy 14-inch Hilti and to get these quick little cuts, it really is just a pain. With the Milwaukee, just quickly make sure your battery's charged and zip it and you're done. Another great thing about the Milwaukee is it just stops, just like that. It's quiet, you don't have it running in the background constantly. You turn it on, you do your cut, you let go of the trigger, and it just stops. So that is definitely something that has been really helpful. It's still got the water hookup if you ever need to do water and cut dry. If you're ever looking for the key, there's the key in the back, as well as the Allen key that comes with it. That is something that I didn't know, and I thought it didn't come with it at first, but they're just hiding on you. We got this for our battery. Now, battery is the one downside to this. If you're not organized like me, I don't necessarily always keep my batteries charged, and I've got 2 of these red lithium. These are probably 3 years old at this point in time, so they go down pretty quick. I am probably due for a new one, but I also got one of the Forge batteries, and that one you get a lot more power, and it also lasts a lot longer. You definitely feel it with this saw, where you might not feel it with other tools as much. With the Forge batteries, you definitely get a lot more power, and it lasts a lot longer. So I definitely recommend invest in good batteries for the Milwaukee, but that also increases the price tag of this, especially if you want at least 2. I think I'll get about 15 minutes of cut time. That is the downside to this. You definitely want the fast charging attachment tool to be able to charge the batteries. I think in 15 minutes. I don't, and I also have only one heavy duty battery, so that's kind of given me some problems with having to constantly charge. One reason why I don't like it, but I'm also ill-equipped because I should have that fast charging port there for my Milwaukee. Downside being batteries that I'm constantly having to charge, and I've got 3 batteries and they ran out pretty quick, but it's also hot today, so they're also overheating. If you're doing pavers, I really would only use this to do my first score on the pavers, and then I would come in with my Hilti, my 14-inch, to be able to do the entire depth cut. So this one for application for pavers, just that initial score, just to get that perfect score, and then follow it with my Hilti afterwards. Good thing is that it is a 9-inch, so you can get a better radius cut. If you're doing a tight radius, the smaller the blade, the better the radius. And obviously an angle grinder would be the next thing that you could actually go ahead and get for a tight radius. Cutting retaining wall block is not going to work for that, obviously, especially if you're going into 6-inch like we've got here. 3-inch, yeah, sure, you could do with a 9-inch blade, just barely, but ultimately it's not something that I would typically use. Really, it's for those quick cuts, like the wires for the lights, like the porcelain, which is not necessarily a quick cut, but something that is quickly, easily able to do. And it's for those quick, really quick, grab the saw, be able to strip something, and then go on to the next one, as opposed to get out the gas, feel it up, turn it on, it's noisy, and then start to cut. It's heavier. It's really that application that you're looking for with this. So is it a necessity? No. Is it a luxury? Absolutely. First get your demo saw, 14-inch, 12-inch, whatever that is, and then look at the other saws that you're going to buy. This might be one, especially if you're getting into porcelain. I would recommend it, at least the way that I cut porcelain. But hey, I hope this video's helped you in some way. If it has, please give this video a like, comment below any questions that you have, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.